Okay, hey guys, we're back. I know I told you to do lots of videos today. I put on my normal get up real quick so you can see. If you saw the other video with the waist trainer, this is what I normally do when I get home. I put on my screen and I put on my brown one. So
she has two, because they may not be able to see. She has two garments on.
So this is what I do, and I'm not in it for a long time. I know it seems like a lot, especially when you first starting to do this. As a fat person, I can tell you, it feels like a lot. But it's like, I'm uncomfortable and blah, blah, blah. But I tell you, if you keep doing it, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be. I'm trying to get back into putting my sports one on for a few hours because it helps you sweat here, get out water weight, warm this tummy area up. You burn more calories when you have it on. This is nothing. Once you start putting your garment on, I'm telling you, you'll get used to it.
You almost feel weird without it. Like loosey-goosey.
You start to feel it. Yeah. You don't notice how much you're jiggling until you put it on. But it's nice even to have, because this one is loose. You see this, the black one, I should have did this. You can't. I can't get a finger in it because I got it small. But when you're ready for that challenge, push yourself. That's just my encouragement. You push yourself. Okay, so this is the real, trying to get to the nitty-gritty of stuff. In this video, we're going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, all about Mexico and medical tourism. So, most of you guys know I did not get my surgery done here in the States. I chose to get it in Mexico for a couple different reasons. One, price, but two, I couldn't get my surgery approved with insurance. I know a lot of people can get these weight loss surgeries approved through insurance. They were not going to give that to me because the only thing that I had in my charts or my ailment, even though I had been diagnosed with Cushing syndrome, was obesity. That was it. I don't have any comorbidities. I don't have high blood pressure, cholesterol, anything, nothing. And so when I first went to try to get this surgery approved by two different insurances, like companies, two different carriers, the second time I tried to, my friends were like, girl, you better tell them your back hurt or, whatever. It's funny. I'm going to tell you this, though. They put me on a treadmill and gave me a stress test. So they tested my breathing and everything, and they were like, well, you're not having any problems, so we can't cover it. So
make sure you ain't lying.
I was going to say, I'm going to be honest with you, they might catch you if you try to lie and say, oh, my back hurts and I'm winded after so much time, but they said I'm functional. So I could not. I tried my hardest to get it approved with insurance. So if you are in that, especially in that spot, don't let that be a reason why you don't get this surgery. Don't let it. Don't wait too long. I wish I could have got it sooner, and I know I'm not even that much post-op, but for me, back before when I was researching this surgery, financial was like the biggest reason of not getting it. And so medical tourism should really help with that. If you do some research, you don't have to go to Mexico. There's lots of other countries that do it. Mexico is the hot spot, though, for gastric sleeve. Out of bypass, gastric sleeve, and lat band, gastric sleeve has the lowest amount of complications and the best post-op results in terms of people losing 80 to 100% of their excess weight within 12 to 24 months. Everybody's different. Everybody doesn't drop their weight the same. So a lot of times, if you guys hear me talking about my experience, just keep that in mind when I'm giving you my updates. It's my experience, and I also have a metabolic disorder, and this doesn't cure that. It's helping to even my playing field, to give me a tool to help me lose weight. So I hope that wasn't too fast. Price. The surgery for me was a total. I got a package. You'll notice when you start looking up stuff, you can book your surgery with the surgeon directly, or you can go through an agency and they give you a package. So my package was $42.99, so $4,299. And I had to pay a little bit extra because I had a high BMI because I'm really short, like I was telling you guys. So now if you're with the same weight, I know a lot of people are in that range between 275, 315. Depending on your height, your BMI is probably a lot lower than what mine was. The base price was $3,800 or $3,899. So when your BMI gets a little higher, they charge you a little bit more because you could potentially be high risk. Just be prepared for that. It's really not too bad though. I know right now the same company that I went with is called Mexico Bariatrics, .com. That's the company I went with. They having a special right now, and it's like $3,500. So look for different times. I was going to say the first time you look it up, every single site, doctor's office, clinic is going to have you do a screening, kind of get your patient profile information. Do as many as you want because some of these companies will follow up with you. They might want to give you a coupon here or whatever. It's good to shop around. It's good to talk to different people to see, fill it out. But I was going to say you might want to watch the sites for a little bit, because I know even mine went down. When I first looked it up, I had 3 different companies that I liked the best that I found. The price dropped for whatever reason. And I know I reserved my surgery 5 months or 4 months ahead of time.
It was like 4 or 5 months at a time. And don't forget to talk about what the actual price included, because I don't want you to think that that price just included the surgery.
No, it doesn't. I just wanted to make sure. So to tell you the price, I was gonna say I haven't seen it lower than 3,000, but I feel like you can kind of round it to 4,000 in a ballpark if you think about your package. So what your package does include, what mine included, was my anesthesia, hospital stay. It included my transportation to and from the airport. We flew into San Diego, into Tijuana. So we flew into San Diego and were driven into Tijuana. It included, I guess, all your beverages. I was going to say meals, but you don't get no food in the hospital. Now, she could have got a meal, but I don't think you ever...
I never did. No, I wanted to have real Mexican food.
But I think they do provide your spouse a meal, though.
They did. They had a menu, but I was out there. I wanted to eat what they were eating. So, I mean...
She got a little vacation time. So I would have done the same thing. So your surgery, your anesthesia, your room for your hospital, and your hotel. So for my...
And driver.
And your driver. It also, technically, a lot of your fee is going to your patient advocate, because when you get there for this company, you have, you get assigned a patient advocate. They have 2, and technically he's on call. So if you need something and you call him, he comes, he needs to be at your side and stuff like that. Most companies have a patient advocate who's on the ground. So make sure that you use that, because I know we didn't use him that much. But you can. Like, if you need something, or if you're having issues translating something like that, you need to make sure you call your patient advocate, because a lot of that fee is going to them. They're making money. So what's not included is your airfare to whatever hospital they're picking you up from, or whatever airport. Our plane tickets together were $800. I shopped around. I like to use Kayak, Expedia, and all that, and I price check stuff. I'm going to talk about times, though, later on when we talk about pros and cons, because unfortunately, I did get the best deal for tickets for us, but timing, I think, created a little bit of issues when we came in.
I think, well, it was weather actually that created the issue, because remember it was weather. It wasn't the timing.
Storm kind of that
day. Yeah, it was to be honest.
We really did have a perfect storm that day coming in. So, but you get a lot. I'm gonna tell you this though. So with my surgery, gastric sleeve, you get 2 nights in the hospital, and you get a day in the hotel. If you get a bypass, I'm pretty sure you're out of hospital for 3 days, 1 day in the hotel. If you're getting a lap band, you're in the hospital 1 day, and then you're in the hotel 1 day. But this is the thing though, they don't count the surgery day as your day. They count them after. So, and also when you get your doctor's note, he does not count any days that you are in the hospital as downtime. He counts your week down as when you leave for home. So just keep that in mind. Like a snippet, lock that in. Because I didn't realize that till I got home. So I got my surgery on Saturday. We were in the hospital Monday, Tuesday. We didn't go to the hotel till Wednesday. So literally, we were in the hospital 2 days. And then you stayed in a hotel 1 day. Our hotel was a 5-star Ritz, like the.
Y'all seen the video? Yeah, they saw the clip. If you watched the,
I'm telling you, like you didn't see it.
If you guys saw what it looked like, it had a 5-star restaurant in it. It had a beautiful spa in it. It was a really, really nice.
It was nice, hotel. And there was vouchers for stuff that we didn't use, because I know.
Meals were included even after we were at the hotel. They had meals included in our package. And
but we were out the whole day, so we didn't use them. But because you got a drink, they actually gave you a drink, and me bottled water, and I had chicken soups, but they had given her another meal voucher. So one thing that I really do like about the package, and getting the surgery done abroad, to be honest, in general, is that it's made for you to bring a companion or your spouse. They make sure that the room you're in has either a fully reclining chair couch, but you can ask for a pull-out bed, or
they actually had a built-in bed.
The bench bed, right?
Yeah, it was a big. It was like a huge sofa, but it was really ridiculously wide. It was made for it to be a bed as well as seating.
Okay, because I could have swore that I wasn't sure though. But yeah, so they make sure your room sleeps too, and like I said, there was vouchers for her for meals. Like the hospital had food. we did buy a lot of things. Like, I think I let you guys know that in other videos how Latoya bought me hydration water and stuff. But it's a huge perk because I know if you try to get surgery here in the U.S., and you can watch lots of videos from people, don't just take my word for it. They don't account for things like that. And from what I understand from watching a couple people that I really like who got their surgery in the U.S., they didn't stay in the hospital that long, and they didn't have complications either, granted. They were only in the hospital like a day, and then they were kind of like...
Traveling abroad for, what is it called? Medical tourism?
Yep.
Medical tourism, I have noticed that other countries cater to post-op care, and we don't here. And I think there is also a huge misconception that we do the best procedures, have the best care, and the best education, the best doctors. No, we don't. If you look on our education, where we're at as far as on the list of education,
we're done.
Yeah. And if you look on as far as like, I guess, surgeries and stuff like that, there are other places. We only think we're the best because this is our country. Yeah. But we're not. We're not always the best.
Because
let's keep that in mind.
We met 2 doctors because I know they
really cater to post-op care though.
They do,
which is important.
Do. And I forgot because I did get medicine from the hospital and I didn't pay for that. Now, granted, my patient advocate, for $17, he gave me an extended amount of omeprazole. Everybody's medication that you get when you get discharged is different. So, I got quite a few different things. But I know I got a pain med, I got 2 antibiotics, and then I got omeprazole, which most people are taking the antacid medication that you're on for 6 weeks to help your stomach, adjust to the real world after surgery. I got that from the hospital, and that's included in that price too. I just thought about that. I'm trying to think. I mean, I got all standard types of pain medication, like any type of pain medication that I wanted, nausea medication at hand when I asked for it was given. There was no extra charge for that. You know how, like, in the hospital, if you were to push your morphine button or ask the nurse for pain medicine, that goes on your bill. There's no extra charge.
They actually have you on a regimen, like a 4-hour regimen. They don't give it to you anyway. You don't really have to ask for it. What you have to ask for is to say no, thank you. Yeah. Because they're gonna give it to you, whether you complain about it or ask for it or not. They want to give it to you because they want you to be extremely comfortable. And I think that you were on a 4-hour schedule to get the pain med as well as nausea medication. But she didn't need the pain medicine, so that's one thing she asked them to hold, and they did hold it. But she was on a 4-hour schedule for that nausea medication until they noticed that she wasn't vomiting anymore.
Oh, Lord. Socks. Now you can bring your own, but they do, at least in Mexico where I went with the company, and I know a lot of other people who went with really popular other companies like A Lighter Me. And there's another company that's called, I think it's Bariatric Partners. But there's a lot. I'm telling you, as soon as you type in bariatric surgery in Mexico, you're going to get a ton of companies that pop up. So just check them all out. Weight Loss Partners is another one. Because I was going to say, it's so funny. I kid you not, though. They called me yesterday. And they said that, and I had told them that I had my surgery. And they were like, oh, how are you doing? They were like, do you mind if you talk to our nutritionist just to like follow up you to see how you're doing, or maybe give any feedback or anything like that? And they were telling me about other stuff that they have for post-op surgery, but I thought that was nice how they wanted to know how I was doing after surgery, even though I went with another company. So anyway, I think I'm going to try to put all this in the description box. So don't feel like you have to pause and write down everything. I'm trying to put everything in the description box, and I'll put the website for the company that I went with, down below. If you have questions, let us know. We're going to get into other stuff now. Now that you know where we went to Mexico, the company I went with, and how much we paid, what was included.
Oh, so I have a list because there's like things that you may not think about. Right. I guess before you go, basic Spanish. It's a must. We are in their country. They're not in ours. They're not obligated to learn how to speak English. We should be learning how to speak Spanish. And you can't expect them, to be like, oh, you should learn English. Well, you're in their country. You should learn Spanish. So, basic, because I speak a little bit of Spanish. I speak a decent amount, a good amount of Spanish too, and I can understand it more than better than I can speak it. But just certain phrases, like if you know, especially if you bring somebody with you, or if you by yourself, you know, to ask, what is this for? What is this? What is this for? Those things. And if you don't know, and if you can't teach yourself those basic Spanish phrases, a translator. A translator is so important because they can communicate with you and you can communicate with them.
Yeah.
Bring somebody to come with you. If you don't have somebody to come with you, and it's not just for somebody to be there to help you walk around the hospital. It's for them to run errands for you. Go get water. Go get whatever you need. Supplies, toothbrush, toothpaste, because they didn't supply those things. Yeah. Their hospitality is different. It's much different in other countries than it is here. And if we stayed at a hospital, they would probably get us toothbrush, a throwaway toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant and things like that. They didn't provide those things for us. We had to provide those things for ourselves. So we made sure to bring travel bags of that. But
and that's on your packing list, though.
It is. But if you don't have anybody with you, who's going to run and get you a bottle of water or a gallon of water? It's not like you can pack unless you feel like packing on the plane.
Right, when you leave in the airport.
Yeah, but who's going to get it for you? As well as just, running errands, just to be an advocate, just to be there watching. Because, the first day of surgery, you're in and out of sleep. And even almost to the second day, you really have to fight to get out of that, to get up under that anesthesia. And for somebody to be an advocate, to be watching, asking questions, and things like that, because it's always the person that's getting surgery doesn't deal with the nurses. It's usually the people or that family member that's caring, or that's there for the patient. I'm trying to think what else.
I was going to say emotional support too, because when you talked about an advocate, I agree. I think, when I was in my surgery thing, there were 6 girls that were kind of in my pod, I guess, and 2 of those girls came by themselves, and it's funny because they had the most problems and did the worst out of everybody.
They did not feel motivated to get up and walk or anything, and I had her on a 2-hour schedule. She slept for 2 hours. We were up. We started with laps around I think we did 2 laps. Yeah. Up and down once, and then up and down again, which was twice. And that was the first night. And we did that every 2 hours, and closer to nighttime, we did it every 4 hours, so she could at least get some good sleep.
I love that.
And then the next day in the morning, we did 3 laps of that. And then by the time she was leaving, I wanted us to be up to 4 to 5 laps, and that's where we were at. But just to keep motivating, this is the goal. You got to push through, because there's people that if you're there by yourself, who's gonna motivate you to get up out of bed?
And that's what I was gonna say. You really do need that motivation and emotional, because not to say that the nurses won't, but like she said, it's a different country, and depending on how you are, if you go by yourself, if you choose, or maybe you went by yourself, I don't know, because some people have really, really good experiences, but it also depends on your level of the language. So, because that can change your whole experience. I'm gonna be honest. I heard other girls telling the nurses not to disturb them, or some girl, there was just one girl who was really weepy and crying. And she did have a complication. I don't know why or what the exact part of it was, but she just was not having a good time. But the thing is, she was also alone. She was probably scared. So it's a lot. It can be a lot. And I was just thinking how I always felt sick because every time I woke up, Latoya was right there, and I don't know. She just had everything down pat. So I never had to worry a lot about the accessory or logistics of stuff, because she already had taken care of that. Talking to doctors, talking to nurses. What is this or what is that? And Latoya, to be honest, I feel like you're more conversational than anything. She might have downplayed how well you know Spanish, because this is because of her. I feel like did as much stuff as we did, and spoke to the staff or got through to the staff as much as we did. So
too, that's why. Another reason why it's so important. If you do go with somebody, you definitely have to learn some basics of Spanish, because a lot of times once you're out of the recovery home or the hospital, you no longer have Wi-Fi.
Right.
And so your translator app is not going to work. And if you're going to go buy something, you need to know the conversion between our dollars and their dollars, as well as how to ask for how much is something, cuánto cuesta, and how much is this, or to understand when they're telling you back money or prices, 300, blah, 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 blah. And they're telling you need to understand at least dollars, 1 through 10, numbers 1 through 10, and then how to understand the doubles, 20s, 30s, and 40s, because a lot of their money equals out to be a high amount. Like for instance, for instance, for something that would be like $10, maybe 100 and something, you need to be able to understand or catch it when you hear it, or 200 and something, or things like that. So if you have somebody that's with you, if they're out trying to shop, it can be so frustrating. Just trying to buy a meal, just trying to find some place for breakfast. If you don't know how to even ask for breakfast, because their breakfast foods don't look like our breakfast foods. They really don't. And so just basic things, basic Spanish is so important. Another thing too I want to say to bring is those footed socks. We forgot to bring those. When I say footed socks, I mean socks like this. Right here, I got this socks. Very comfortable. I had to put them up. They have the little grips on the bottom. Sorry, I got
like that old people wear.
Yeah,
that's home.
Because you have your compression socks on and you pop these footed socks on top of it. That way you walk.
If I didn't have those, I wouldn't have been able. I know I wouldn't have walked as much because she had bought me some flip flops. And they were so nice. They are nice. I've worn them in the house. But you know how when new shoes you gotta stretch them? My feet were swollen. The IV, because they put you on the IV before you even go into surgery, a couple hours. So you are pumped with fluid. Like I told you, I gained 10, 15 pounds.
Full of fluid.
Yeah, you get everything you need from the IV pretty much. So it's a full solution of like salt, water, sugar, whatever. My feet were swollen. Like,
so these little socks, they are so important to have. And you don't really need to overpack. To be honest, all you need is about 2 good dresses, 2 good maxi dresses, and something to travel on the plane home with, and you'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, we didn't even do a check bag. All we had was backpacks, and then we had
2 carry-ons.
That's it.
And that was and so, we didn't even use all the stuff that we got. We actually we bought more stuff home from Tijuana, Mexico than we actually bought.
Oh, let me talk about that before I forgot. So the things to do before you go, and things that I wish I knew before. Well, actually not me, maybe other people. For this surgery, most people talk about supplements after surgery, and I wanted to talk about the importance of taking supplements before you go. Out of my whole group, doctors, is it still going?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Did you delete the last video?
Yeah.
Okay, we good to go.
Sorry guys, we used
20 minutes. We talking a lot.
All the doctors that were on the floor, because there's 2 doctors with Mexico Bariatrics that were on there that day, and out of everybody in my group, they were just like, dang, like you ain't look like you had surgery. They said I had the most energy, like I did the best out of the group that I was with. This is vitamin C and E, and this is mostly for skin, but I have a multivitamin for women. I don't know how much you can see. And it don't matter the brand. Once you start taking vitamins, it's the nutrients that matter. This has calcium and iron and stuff for women. And the most important one, this is just a bulk supplement. This is collagen. And this is in a powder form that dissolves really well in water. It's kind of like taking fiber. I took these pretty much religiously. And what I did was I put them in a little sandwich baggie. And I took them to work. And that's how I remembered to take them really every day. Because they were at my desk.
How far before the surgery did you start taking them? So people know.
I probably started out more than you need to. I probably started maybe 2 or 3 months before. But you can start a month.
It's good to build that health up.
It's good.
She had that good old snapback. It didn't look like, y'all saw the video when we showed us in the hotel. You were rolling around on the bed. Like, did you even have, like my mom or her mother-in-law was like, did you even have surgery?
Yeah.
Like, let me see.
And that's the thing. I'm sorry. That's the only video that got lost. Because we had showed you guys my incision the second day of surgery. I'm sorry. I really wanted to show that video. But I took pictures today and I'm going to upload them into one of these videos so you can see my incisions. They're completely healed. And I know, because Latoya going to talk about some more surgery stuff, like plans for the future in like another video. Collagen is really important for skin, not just for like elasticity or making it look shiny and nice. It's good for healing. Because if you don't have no elasticity in your skin, if your cells don't have no collagen, it's harder to heal. And I thought about that. Like, I think my stomach healed faster and everything. I didn't try to do a whole bunch of stuff, though. I feel like girls were trying to chug down protein shakes and yogurt and eat a whole bunch of soup. I didn't eat that much when I was in the hospital at all, like until we got home. But anyways, I wanted to stress the importance of supplements before surgery because I think it will greatly improve results after. Because you're already having to do a lot with the pre-op diet. If anybody's doing a weight loss surgery, everybody knows you got to do that pre-op diet. And I'll be honest, I cheated. Don't cheat because they told me my liver was a little bit big. Don't cheat, but take some vitamins, take some vitamin C. That's always good for immunity and collagen. Whether you're taking it in a pill form or the powder. I think it just will do wonders for your incision sites, your stomach, and all your cells. So, sorry.
Another thing, too, hospitality in other countries is not the same. It isn't. And I will say this, it's most likely it's because of a language barrier. Yeah. It is a huge language barrier because they do not know any English. No. Well, at our place, they did not know any English. And at first, they were doing their job, mind you, but they weren't really speaking to us. Because what can they say? I don't understand you and you don't understand. Well, they thought. And so I started speaking more Spanish. And then what I didn't know, or I didn't know how to phrase in a correct sentence, I would, type it out and say it to them. They realized, oh, okay, she's trying to speak to us and she's communicating to us in our language. All the staff, eventually, by like day 2, they were all like,
yeah, because Google has it already in there.
Yeah, they started communicating with us. With the other people, they didn't really care. There were some girls there that just didn't care about the nurses, and so the nurses just tried to do what they needed to do and get them up out of there. But with us, they were telling us, I knew how to ask, what is that? ¿Qué es esto? And then, ¿para qué esto? What is that and what is it for? And they will respond in Spanish, but I could understand the drug that they were given because it sounds very similar to our drug. The ending may be different, but you should be able to, to be able to tell. Right. What I could tell what it is by the very beginning of the drug name, and they would tell what it was for whatever, swelling, information, the blood or whatever.
It's like they took medical terminology for Spanish speaking people, because I will say that though, when you ask those questions, they would say like the one word, they would say swelling, pain, injection site. So I know they must have had to pass some exam for some English, because I don't think they would have been allowed to work so much with, English-speaking people, because it says that they're bilingual staff. But, like she said, we're in their country, so I think it's just a good idea. Everybody was so much more receptive to, like, Latoya and us, well, mainly because of Latoya speaking so much Spanish, because I had a lot of nurses hug me and stuff like that, and they were telling us their names, like, by the day 1, like after surgery and stuff like that, because she had already been communicating with people so much and letting them know, no, I'm not trying to push you away. I just need to get these answers. You know what I mean? So,
once you try to communicate with because like I said, they're nursing too. How they do nursing may be a little bit different. Whereas there was a situation to where Kalia's surgery went well past the time frame when I thought she was going to be back. Went well past the time that I was told, and she said in her one video it was because her oxygen levels was low, which was her normal, but for them, it wasn't normal range. Even though her normal is low, and they do not play about their patients. They kept her for however long they was gonna keep her until her oxygen levels were low. They could give a damn about anything else happening but making sure that her oxygen level. So I didn't know for 4 or 5 hours well after her surgery should have been ending, and a nurse didn't come tell me. Now in nursing in our hospitals, we'll go when they're in post-op or trying to recover, a nurse will come out and say, hey, surgery went like this, and they're in post-op, and it'll be blah 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 this amount of time for them to get up under from up under anesthesia. They didn't do that. And so I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? So there was a bit of a panic. But once I started speaking more Spanish to them, and what I didn't know, I made the effort to use my translator. And here's a good tip too, because if you have a companion or a spouse, like I said, when I made that comment, once you leave the hospital, your recovery home, you no longer have Wi-Fi, your translator does not work. I would type out questions and screenshot it. So when I left, I just hold up my phone.
It's such a good idea. That helped us in so many pitches. You have to be proactive
and make things easier, because it's not that they don't want to be hospitable. It's not that they don't want to speak to you. It's not that they would, they just kind of doing whatever they're doing. They don't know how to communicate, and they don't understand what we expect, because what their expectations may be different than our expectations. For instance, when they come in a hospital room, they knock and walk in. Yeah. Whereas here,
they kind of knock, come right in.
They knocking as they walk. And once I told them one time, hey, 1 second, because she's changing. From that moment on, they knocked and they waited for me to say, to enter or to come in.
Yeah.
They made accommodations. The facility, she didn't get to see all the facility, but it was stunning. It was really nice. It really was.
It was a private hospital.
It was so nice. I'm trying to think before I get out of hand. Sorry, the dogs think that they're assassins.
Yeah, that was for the thing. If you didn't watch the other video, go back and watch it. But because I was gonna say, because I didn't have any complications, but because I had asthma, I had a really terrific anesthesiologist. Like he cared like nobody's business. When I had come out of surgery, and because all I remember is like all I have is like picture memory of it. Because like she said, I was in and out of sleep. So if I was in and out of sleep by the time she got me, that was 5 hours later. It was crazy. I just remember the recovery room. There were so many people around, and my surgeon was there, and I remember my anesthesiologist because I had wheezing. I had like heavy wheezing, and my anesthesiologist did not like it. And my O2 stat was low, but that's normal for me in a resting.
They did not care that was normal for her.
Yeah,
what they said was, "You gonna stay here until it's normal across the book, like what we are used to, what the average normal range is." They didn't care if that was her normal.
Yeah,
you can just and so, but that's good though. That's good that the anesthesiologist was an advocate, because you don't want an anesthesiologist or somebody that's just gonna they did their job. They got you through the anesthesia, through surgery, and after that you came up out of it,
right,
and after that they like, all right, you good. No, he was not playing. He kept her for however long it took. They were concerned about letting me know. They were concerned about her. Now knowing that, I appreciate that. At the time, I didn't like that at all.
I'm sorry, but I didn't know, because that's the thing. Like I was so in like
of course you don't know
anesthesia haze.
You don't know time when you under anesthesia.
That's the craziest thing. And if you had surgery before, you probably already realized that. That was my second time having surgery in my life, and for whatever reason, it just at the time I don't know what time. It seemed like it was just the next second. You go into the surgical room, you wake up. No concept of time. It's just like the next time you wake up, be like So
their main concern is patient, not family or anything like that. Family, you be all right. We'll deal with you later. Right now, we're concerned about patient, and that's exactly what they did, which I appreciate. Even though here we have nurses, they will let us know she's out of surgery. This is what happened. They were like, damn, that we're gonna get her oxygen levels up.
Yeah, because that is a long time though, and that's why I feel bad for my baby, because if the surgery is only supposed to be 1 to 2 hours, and then 5 hours go back, that means I was in recovery for 3 hours, and that's my thing. I didn't even feel like it was that long, because I remember them keep putting a thing on my finger, but that's probably because I was falling in and out of sleep, and they would wake me back up. Take the medicine again, Teresa.
That was the only thing that pretty much happened. Outside of that, and like communication, as far as like speaking more Spanish and really making that effort, it was pretty good. Once they saw that, they kind of left us alone, to be honest, but they did that because they knew that I was there and I was doing it for her, and I was taking care. They came and did what they as far as medicine and stuff like that, but outside of that, I had her walking. I was doing all that, so they okay, we'll let you do that. What was another thing too? It's important, if you don't have somebody with you, bring bottled water. I don't know how you're gonna make that happen. But
before you leave the
bring toiletries, safe lock box. Even if you're not by yourself, safe lock box. And then too, another thing we didn't talk about, or she didn't talk about, that I wanted to bring it to her attention, so she can't talk about, so you guys are well aware, the vomiting. When we say a lot, we mean, because some people's a lot maybe like 3 to 5 times. No. I'm talking about like 5, 10 to 15 times. After surgery, you get up, you throw up. You walk, you finish, you throw up. You sit down, then you throw up. And then you sleep. And then when you wake up from that sleep, you throw up. Then you stand up, and then you're going to throw up.